Good evening, or maybe good afternoon, maybe even good morning. Either way, thank you all for joining in and welcome to the first ever webinar of the University College Twente. My name is Merel Oldenburg. I'm a second year student at the college and I will be your host tonight. In the next hour, we will present our college and our academic program. Both teachers and students will speak about their experiences in and around the college. We will answer all sorts of questions. For example, what is University College Twente and what courses can I take? We will not only talk about studying, but also about student life, and we will shortly touch upon the admission procedure. During and after the webinar, you can chat with us. Enthusiastic students and staff are ready to answer all kinds of questions. Just use the chat whenever you want. Also, after the webinar, we will still be able to chat with you guys. Before we go into our curriculum, we will start with a general introduction to the University College Twente. There's no one who can do this job better than our Dean. So without further ado, here is Jennifer Herrick, Dean of University College Twente.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Jennifer Herrick, and as Meryl said, I am the Dean of the University College Twente. I'm also a professor of physics at the University of Twente and have an international research career in cutting-edge optical spectroscopy. But my academic career also started at a college, which is why I'm so passionate about the University College Twente. In fact, the University College concept is based on the American liberal arts colleges that offer a broad education as well as specialization and a particular focus on personal development. Small-scale, intensive education entirely in English for selected students from around the world in a residential setting. This educational concept is taking hold in the Netherlands, where there are now 8 liberal arts and science colleges scattered across the country. The University College Twente is located on the eastern edge of the Netherlands, 2 hours from Amsterdam. The college is located at the heart of the University of Twente, which gives our students direct access to a wide range of resources and facilities. And that's important, as the University College Twente has a unique profile. It stands out from the other colleges in terms of 3 C's: its content, its concept, and its community. I'll focus on the first of these, and you'll hear more about our educational concept and our community spirit later in the program. Of all the university colleges in the Netherlands, the University College Twente is the only one affiliated with the University of Technology. As such, our profile leans towards science and engineering. Our focus is at the interface of technology and social science. We offer a 3-year honors level bachelor degree program. It's called ATLAS, which stands for Technology and Liberal Arts and Sciences. The A is silent, but secretly it stands for awesome. But it's not just our profile which is unique, but it's also the way that we teach that sets us apart. Because unlike a traditional educational program where students follow a curriculum prepared for them, here students are in the lead of their education. Let me tell you what a typical semester looks like. A semester starts with an overarching theme, and within that theme there are distinct learning goals for all students. But how students achieve that, how you achieve your learning goals, is up to you. In the very beginning of your semester, you write a personal development plan, a PDP we call it. And that PDP defines how you will achieve the learning goals, how you will develop yourself in science, in mathematics, in engineering, and in social sciences. Throughout the semester then, you'll experience courses, assignments, lectures, projects, and all along the way, feedback. Feedback from your teachers, feedback from your peers, feedback that helps you guide your choices and make your way through the program. At the end of the semester, you start the assessment process by reflecting on what you've learned in relation to what you set out to do in your PDP. The self-evaluation report, the SIR, which is written at the end of the semester, starts the assessment process by the whole team of faculty within the Atlas program. So the core features of our program: personal development, collaborative learning, problem solving, and connecting a strong basis in technology, engineering, and social science. Those are the hallmarks of the Atlas program at the University College Twente.
Teleprompter. Thank you, Jennifer, for your enthusiastic introduction to University College Twente. You guys know where we're located now, and you know what the core values of the University College are. Now it's time to explore our study program. Jennifer already said it's called Atlas. It comes with our unique college because we have such unique characteristics. Today, Klaas-Jan Vissers, one of our teachers, and Stef Koenis, also second year of Atlas, will talk about the curriculum, but also about the way we teach, the way we learn, the way we do in Atlas. Lastly, they will shortly tell you what you can do after you finish your bachelor. Remember to ask any questions you have in the chat. We are happy to answer them. First, we'll go to a short video, and afterwards, Klaas, Jan, and Stef will proceed with talking about Atlas.
I'm Timo Willows.
I'm Bob.
I'm Hannah.
I am Suhaib Aslam.
My name is Anna Sietsma.
I'm Valerie.
I'm Frank Wakkelar.
I'm Sarah. Yeah, I really came here for the program. I sort of liked the idea of not having to choose a very specific direction already.
The Atlas program really gives you freedom in also choosing what you want to study, even far more how you want to do it.
So then I googled technology, liberal arts and sciences, and then Atlas was the first Google hit.
Choosing for me has always been hard, and it's part of the reason why I came to Atlas, because I wanted to keep doing a lot of things and to retain my broad interest.
I did computer science, I did US history, physics, calculus, but I didn't want to per se go into any one of them specific. So I looked at this and I thought, this kind of has it all.
I view Atlas as a canvas. It's a blank canvas. I've got all these paints and I can throw all the colors and I can paint however I want.
This whole community in Atlas makes it really so much fun to also learn together, to learn also from each other. Yeah, that makes a big difference.
I was not aware that University College Twente was really much more of a community than it was a program to many people.
Living in Atlas House is a lot of fun because you get to live with the students that you also work with, and we eat together and we do a lot of fun things together.
Everyone comes here and tries to be normal, but then they just give up on it and realize that everyone is sort of a little bit weird.
Everything that is related to learning and to teaching is closely related to the community we have.
We foster such a nice community feeling, such a nice family ambience that it really does make the time so much better.
Hi, I'm Klaas-Jan Vissers. I studied industrial engineering and philosophy of science and technology, and I'm now a researcher in the field of organization and innovation, and I'm a teacher at Atlas. Stef, who are you?
Okay, my name is Stef Koenis. I'm a second year Atlas student. I just finished my third semester, what means that I'm halfway the Atlas program. and I have a particular interest in physics, so I want to do a master in physics, but I'll tell you more about this later.
I hope that in the next 20 minutes we can tell you a little bit more about the Atlas program, about the curriculum. In general, you could say that you start with an orientation on all kinds of fields in social science, in engineering and mathematics, finding out what it means to study at a university in these topics. Then after that, if you are getting used to the way of learning, the way of teaching in the Atlas program, there's room to explore different subjects, things that you like. And in the end of the program, you're going to specialize again towards the master's program that you find interesting, something that really has your greatest interest. The program is built up in semesters, so semesters that take half a year, as you can understand. And a semester is different each time, but there is a kind of core setup. A semester has a project, a semester has a theme, which can be sustainable energy or human movement or something else. A project which is about a third of the whole semester. We will talk later about what such a project could be. There are also courses in different areas: mathematics, engineering, different kinds of social sciences, humanities. And next to that, there are also lectures, inspiring lectures, that we don't make them part of a course, but that there are teachers from the whole university, renowned scientists, people from business, from society, who come to Atlas to share their ideas in a kind of private setting of a lecture. Next to that, there are also learning lines in the program. Learning lines means that we pay attention to the development of your skills related to organization and teamwork, to communication in writing and in talking, but also more the research skills, the academic skills, the design skills. The semesters have different levels, as you can see on the next slide. Steph, yeah. As you can see here, this is a kind of, visualization of the kind of topics that we cover in the different projects. It goes from a nanoscale, very small physical scale, to large technical systems. And on a social axis, you can see that it goes from the human to society at large. And by focusing on different levels, we have different kind of projects. We start with, humans dealing with concrete technology, but we also sometimes go to, large-scale technological systems at Mars, for instance, which we have studied in one of the projects. In the first and second year, the semesters have this kind of setup, but the third year is kind of special. The fifth semester, so the first semester of the third year, students go abroad to study for half a year at a different university. You can go for courses that you need to prepare for your master, or just go for courses that you find really interesting. And it can be anywhere in the world. Lots of students go to Asia, to Scandinavia. We have students in all parts of Europe. Even some went to the US or Latin America. Do you already know where you are going?
Yeah, I think I'll go to Mexico. And my plan for that semester is to take courses which I would need for my master, to sort of catch up on the other physics students so that I can directly go towards my master.
Indeed, and then in the last semester, and I'm not going to ask you what you're going to do then, that's maybe still a little bit of a secret, but then you go for your graduation assignment, really the capstone project of your studies, in which you go at a research group or sometimes at a company somewhere to do a bachelor assignment, which will conclude your Atlas study and which you really qualify for a master studies. But maybe it's good to take one of the semesters as an example. Maybe you can start.
Okay, we'll take semester 2 as an example. The theme of this semester is renewable energy systems. I'll first explain the project a bit and how it is linked to the semester theme. The project consisted of 2 parts. In phase 1, we had to write a scenario for a specific renewable energy technology. Our group chose to do biofuel from microalgae. And in this scenario, we had to describe which steps would need to be taken to make this a successful technology to make biofuel from algae used in transportation in 2050. And when writing this scenario, we had to take into account various aspects, technological aspects, social aspects, and it was a really interesting project. But again, it was a really free assignment that we got. And the second phase of this project was even more free, to choose what you wanted to do yourself. You had to develop a simulation related to renewable energy. And our group chose to develop a simulation, a serious game, about renewable energy technologies, about the energy system. We made this game for high school students with the purpose to make them more aware of the complexities in energy systems and how they could make a difference themselves. What's really important that in this project, you can really personalize them. You can personalize it by, for example, choosing a topic that you find interesting. For example, the biofuel that I found really interesting. You choose it with your group, but also within the project group, you can sort of do your own thing. I was, for example, really interested in mathematical modeling, and in this serious game, I focused on model building. So this is sort of the project, and Klaas-Jan will tell about the other courses in semester 2.
Yeah, I can add a little bit to that because I've also been a teacher in that specific semester, partly as a tutor, and a tutor is helping the project groups to do their work. So you're following the students in that way, in their interest, and trying to help them to complete the project and to make it into a valuable product, but also as a course teacher, because you can imagine that if you want to study and to come up with ideas for such a complex phenomenon as the algae and as an emerging technology related to sustainability, you really need insight, both in the mathematics that you need for the modeling, in the kind of technology that is related to the topic, but also an understanding of society. What does it mean that you are going to use this new technology to tackle this societal problem? What would existing company think of that? What is the government regulation going to do? Are there possibilities for new companies, for startups to come up with, valuable and valid business models to work on this topic? So we try in the courses that we give to give students a context to go really in depth in the topics, so that they can in their project go deeper than you would do without having these courses. It also helps that the experiences that you get in the project to really understand theory. If you only have theory about innovation management without a really lived through example, it won't settle in your mind. So by going back from the project experience to the theory courses and back, you really get a deep learning on all those kind of topics.
We can also see this 3 to 5 EC elective space. During all Atlas semesters, the elective space increases and you can personalize it further and further. But here we had about 3 to 5 ECs. And I, for example, use it to follow a quantum mechanics course. And I dived a bit deeper into mathematics and in particular optimization problems.
Maybe I can add, because this year there's even more room for electives than last year. You can also go for history of technology courses, for deeper going into thermodynamics, deeper going in organizational issues.
Okay. Now I'll tell a bit about the way we teach in Atlas and how we learn. So Atlas is quite different from other programs in the fact that we don't have exams, we don't have grades. This is of course very strange in the beginning, but you sort of get used to it. The way we do it in Atlas is that you have to create your own evidence. This evidence can consist of assignments that you do, diagnostic tests that you take, presentations that you give, and you get feedback from this on this from your teachers or from your peers. And in the end of the semester, you reflect on all this feedback and the assignments that you did, the evidence you created in your SCR, your self-evaluation report. And this is the thing you'll be assessed on, and you'll get a verdict on this. So, as I said, it's quite strange in the beginning that you don't have grades anymore like you're used to from high school. But you get really help with this from your academic mentor, for example. And in the end, I think it's a really valuable experience because you really think well about what you're learning, what you actually want to do. And you learn how to self-direct your own learning and how to be able to assess whether you have mastered something by yourself and don't depend on teachers. There's a lot of teamwork in Atlas. Of course, as we mentioned, the semester project you work in sort of large groups, sometimes a bit smaller groups. Sometimes you work in duos or small groups in mathematics, physics, when you have to do certain challenge assignments. But sometimes you also have to work alone. For example, to write a paper, a literature review for innovation science, a subject we had in semester 2. And there's a lot of contact between the students and teachers in Atlas. A lot of personal contact. It's really informal, the way we teach here. Most teachers are in the same building, so you can just stop by their office, ask them a question. And we also teach in really small groups. So sometimes you're only in a classroom with 10 students and 1 teacher. And the lectures are really interactive. I saw that this is very different from conventional courses, conventional programs. When I took an external course, the quantum mechanics course that I told you about, there you just go to a lecture, sit there 1.5 hours, listen, and then go home. But in Atlas, we have more interaction. Sometimes it's a bit chaotic because of this, but I think it's really nice to have this interaction with the teachers, to have the liberty to ask them questions. We also have the personal mentor. Every student has a personal mentor. And what's common is that you have a bi-weekly meeting with your mentor, and you can discuss your academic progress. You can also discuss personal issues if you want. For example, now with my mentor, I'm really talking about semester 4 and 5 and what I want to specialize in, which university I want to go to in semester 5. I'm thinking about my bachelor assignment with him. So he really helps me with this.
May I add a little bit to what you were already saying? I think the idea of working with feedback also means that good students who, well, normally get very high grades on high school, you can give them feedback on what they can improve. So in a sense, it's never perfect. So there's always room also to challenge the best students. And that also makes the classes so very interesting, because you have these intensive discussions with students. You really learn. It's not that the teacher explains to the students what they should know, but really that together you're building new knowledge. And it's really, for all parties, a very enriching experience.
Okay, so in short, there are like 3 ways to personalize your program in Atlas. First, you have the Atlas courses and the Atlas projects, in which you can choose your own approach. That's like method 1. You can also choose external elective. And as we've explained, the elective space grows and grows as you go further through the program. So next semester, I'll have more than half of my ECs, the credits that I'll get them from external courses. Personally, I want to do them at applied physics because I want to do a master in this direction. And finally, you have the personal pursuit, in which you can pursue your own interest in an academic way, but we'll elaborate on this later on. So as I've explained, I'm interested in physics, and I'm currently in the process of taking more physics courses to be able to go straight to a master program. I'm currently looking at universities in Mexico to go there. And yeah, it's sort of exciting. My mentor is helping me with this, and I'm now choosing the courses that I want to take in that year.
Yeah, shall I start telling a little bit more about the personal pursuit, which is really, let's say, a unique part of this program. 10%, so 60C per year, students can use to really follow their passion, to use their passion to put it into part of their program, which means that you develop a topic of your own, which can be related to politics, to the history of art, to drawing, writing fiction, translating Latin, building robots, whatever you find interesting. And we challenge you and help you to develop that in something that you really, that helps you to learn, to become a better engineer, to develop your communication skills, to develop your artistic skills. And in this part of the program, which is each year, you can really make that into part of your learning. And it's also nice because it is so varied and people are so different in what they do, and they share it with each other, so that you get really a great buzz in the community on all the interesting things that are happening, and students really showing what they are passionate about. But maybe you can give an example of what you did last year.
Yeah. In the background you can see a flyer of my personal pursuit. Last year I chose to write a blog about in vitro meat. So this is artificially created meat. And I was really interested in this technology and what it promises to replace all conventional meat and thus be more sustainable. I looked at this technology from multiple perspectives. I looked at it from a consumer perspective, so would consumers actually eat it? Which different groups are there in society and how do they think about this technology? I looked at it from the business perspective. I talked to startups that actually want to bring this to the market in a couple of years. It was really interesting to talk to them. And also looked at the technology perspective. So I talked to universities, research groups that are currently researching this technology. And I posted about my research, about my investigation on a blog, which other students and people from all over the world could read. And in this personal pursuit, I could combine some interests of mine. For example, writing. I wanted to practice writing, so on this blog. I'm interested in biology, sustainability, so I could all combine it in this very nice personal pursuit. And I had a supervisor who was really into this topic who could guide me with this personal pursuit. So it was really nice.
Yeah, and you did very well. You were already on the front page of the university journal once you started. Many teachers would be jealous of you. Okay, but Atlas program also comes to an end after 3 years. And then, well, the question may be, what are you going to do? We have now 1 year of graduates, and we can say that that there's a large variety of where students go. You see a map of places where students go for their master studies, and it can be in different fields. There are students going to industrial engineering, to econometrics, to applied physics, and artificial intelligence, sustainability. Masters. So there is really a large variety of what students are doing. And what struck me, especially last year, is that students know very well what they want to do and where they want to do it, compared to normal bachelor students who just go on with the same kind of studies and often with the same kind of university. The students in Atlas have thought so well about what they want to do, what they're good at, that they have very specific ideas of where they want to study. So I want to do artificial intelligence, but then in this specific program, in this specific university. And what is also very good about the students, that also if they aim high to get into very prestigious universities, they most of the times, well, get in there. So students get to, for instance, ETH in Switzerland and to Imperial in London. So we can wrap up, and I think.
So in short, Atlas has some important benefits. First, it gives you this really broad academic basis. You don't have to specialize as of yet. While at the same time, it allows you to follow a very specialized master's program because of the choices you make in the Atlas program. So when you start Atlas, it's practically possible to do all master programs still, but within the program you specialize and specialize further. And it also gives you some really good skills, for example, in teamwork, in thinking about your own learning, self-directing your own learning, handling feedback, communication, and so forth. So it's a really special program in this way.
And maybe one last thing to add, the fact that you spent 3 years with so many really special people, that you really had time to work with these bright colleagues of yours, that you have variety in the things that you like and that you're good at, but also are such a strong community. Well, we can see that it creates friendships for life, and that's something you can profit from for your entire career and hopefully also far afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a big thanks to Klaas-Jan and Steph. We hope you now have a better understanding of our study program, but also you can always still ask questions on the chat. So if there's anything unclear, you want to have another example, you have specific questions, just ask them. Next, we would like to tell you something about our tight community. That was the third C Jennifer was talking about in the beginning. And also about the student life in Enschede. Being a residential college comes with fostering a tight and diverse community. Sarah Schuttler and Gloria Carta, 2 students, are here to share their experiences. Besides community, they will also share their experiences in the student life in and around Enschede. We will have again a short video, after which Sarah and Gloria will take the stage.
A grade really doesn't tell you much.
I feel like I'm allowed to discover what I really enjoy.
So we ask the students themselves, what do you need to learn?
The educational concept behind Atlas is more that the students learn to shape their own program.
Normally, we as teachers try to decide what is important to learn. And in Atlas, we try to hand that responsibility over to the students.
In terms of coursework, they focus very much on personal development. They want us to learn, of course, that's why we're here. But they also want us to understand what we're doing and how that affects us as people.
We focus more on the learning than on the having learned something.
So we don't know what the students need for the next step, for their project, for instance, what they want to learn. So we ask the students themselves, okay, what do you need to learn?
It's very personal, and that's what Atlas does. They like to focus on the personal aspect of teaching. It's more involved.
We don't do grades. We give them feedback on that material, but not a grade, because a grade really doesn't tell you much.
Students really know where they stand and what they can do for the next step, how to improve themselves.
I feel like I'm allowed to discover what I really enjoy, and through doing that, I really engage with the subjects more.
If they want to focus more on social sciences, more on technical science, more on math, or something else completely, they get freedom from us to do so. If it helps their future, then we're completely fine with it.
Hi, I'm Gloria, this is Sarah, and I'm from Italy, she's from Germany, and we're both 21 and third year Atlas students.
We'd like to talk about the community a little bit. Atlas has a really tight community, and at least for your first year you're also going to live with other Atlas students on campus. Most of the time you also live with people from other years. So that's nice because you live with other people than the ones you study with. Now we both live in different housing. I live by myself and Gloria lives in a shared house with people from other studies and also one other Atlas student. So you really live and work together here. Then we have our study association Atlantis, which really sort of gets the community going. We have a lot of regular events, a lot of small ones like movie nights or drinks, but also bigger ones like our annual prom and a study trip. And there are also educational events like company visits and workshops. Atlantis is based on its committees, so almost all of the students are member in one or more committees. And that's also how we organize everything. For example, we have an activity committee which organizes most of our activities, and a study trip committee which then logically organizes the study trip. Atlantis as a whole is run by its board. That's a group of 5 or 6 students, and they sort of organize everything and arrange the committees and that kind of stuff. And the board changes yearly. And last year we were in the board, now the successors are there. Atlantis is a member of the UCSRN. That's the University College Student Representatives of the Netherlands. And they organize events like a tournament and a conference. And all university college students in the Netherlands get to participate in these events. So we meet other UCs as well.
Atlas has a very diverse pool of students in nationality, for example. I'm from Italy, she's from Germany, and we both have friends from America, Thailand, China, and Netherlands, and many more. We also diverse in our interests, both in the academic and what we do in our free time. I'm more into cell biology and everything that's in the nanoscale of the world, whereas Sarah is more into data visualization and programming. And in my free time, I'm very much into music and art, whereas Sarah also is into programming in her free time. Our characters also differ a lot. Sarah really likes structuring and organizing things, whereas I'm a little bit more chaotic and forgetful, but I like to think of myself as a creative person. And this is really helpful in group work as well. We can divide tasks based on our talents, but we can also learn a lot from each other. The community has been getting more and more international. In our first year, we started with a third of the community being international, whereas now basically half of the students come from other countries than the Netherlands. In fact, also most houses have students from a lot of different countries. In my first year, for example, I lived with German students, Dutch students, and also Thai students. All the students have diverse interests, and many are active next to their studies. There's a lot of option for this in our university. For example, we both did a board year in Atlantis, as we mentioned. Now I'm again doing a board year for another association called the OS, which is the Umbrella Study Association, for All Studies Association, whereas Sarah is setting up a university-wide internationalization platform. Almost everyone in the community does sports. We're not the best example for this. We both don't really sport too much, but there's a lot of sporty people out there in our community, and football is really a popular one. We, in fact, have even our own football team called Manatees, but there's also a lot of other sports like tennis, dancing, etc. All of our students have a common factor, though. We are all really motivated, and we really like to learn and experience.
We've mentioned the campus before. The UT has the only campus in the Netherlands. It's quite a big area and almost all the university buildings are on there, just like a lot of the student housing, a small supermarket, a bar, and they regularly throw parties there as well. And we also have some more facilities like a hairdresser and a doctor. Additionally, there are tons of options for sports. So there are soccer and hockey fields, a climbing wall, a gym, and lots more of these facilities. More than 70 sports associations, a lot of courses and open group lessons. So any sport that you can think of can probably be found here. There are also a lot of cultural associations and events like theater and dancing. And activism in general is also really big. So all the associations are student run. They all have committees where you can choose to join and organize things for your association. And if you really want to get involved, then you can do a board year. So what we mentioned earlier, we did a board year in Atlantis. And then apart from sport and culture, there are also a lot of other associations. There are the study associations, there are also traditional student associations, but also, for example, business-related associations.
So now we're going to try to walk you a little bit through a typical week of the Atlas students. To be fair, it's very difficult to describe because every week is very different and it differs quite a bit depending on the semesters. However, I will try to describe it a little bit, or at least what it looked like in my first year. In general, you have a few classes and tutorials a week. There you have quite some self-study, which is a big core element of the Atlas program. And you have a lot of meetings. Meetings for the semester project, for other group work, and also for committees for your study association, for example. Class ends at 5:30 the latest, which means that you have the whole evening to spend time on what you want to do, which could be studying, but if you're not too stressed at the moment, you could also just enjoy a nice dinner with your friends, or go out, or do some sports. Fitting extracurricular activities within the week and within the working day is quite easy because Atlas is quite a flexible curriculum, so you can easily do that.
Now about the cost of living. Housing is roughly 400 euros a month. Most people pay something between 350 and 450. You should also expect to spend around 200 euros on food every month. Insurance really depends on where you're from, so you should make sure to just find out for yourself how much that'll be. Transportation is mainly cycling, so you need to get a bike, but after that, cycling is free. And if you want to travel to other places in the Netherlands, you can get to most cities for around 20 euros by train. For example, Amsterdam is 24 euros. And then for stuff like clothing and other stuff that you just need, that really depends on your personal spending patterns. But you should definitely plan in some money for it. If you want to go out, drinks on campus are pretty cheap. You can get a beer for like 150. Drinks in the city are a little bit more expensive most of the time. But you can go out for dinner for around 10 euros or even less. Enschede is definitely one of the less expensive cities in the Netherlands, though.
So, to summarize, Enschede may not be the biggest city in the Netherlands, but the community really makes it a special place for us. Your friends here really will become like a second family. And campus is a lot of fun. Everything is around and it's easy to get to things. And there's a lot of options to spend your free time also in the city.
If you have any more questions, make sure to ask them in the Q&A. And now Jennifer will come back and talk about the admission procedure.
So, you've heard from our students, you've got a glimpse of our program. Now, are you the next Atlas student? Yeah, when are you a good fit to the program? What are we looking for? Well, as we've said, this is a program for students with broad interests, with multi-talents that span technology and social sciences. For students who want to develop themselves broadly across this range, who are not ready, who choose not to choose for a single monodisciplinary program. It is an intensive program. We do select our students. What we're looking for are students who have above average marks in math and physics. Of course, we recognize that sometimes on paper, your grades might not reflect your real capabilities, and we'll certainly take that into consideration. It's an English language program, so proficiency in English, of course, is essential. But most important is really an affinity for our concept, a motivation to take part in this way of learning, cooperative learning based on feedback, based on really, taking charge of your education and making the most of it. Our selection process has 2 steps. First of all, we will assess your application file, looking at your academic background, your level of achievement, your personal interests, your motivation. After that, we will invite selected candidates to come to the university for a selection day. At the college, you'll meet the team, you'll meet students, you'll take part in team assignments as well as individual interviews, and you'll get a real sense as to whether this is the right program for you. I should mention that for students for whom travel is a challenge, we also do conduct Skype interviews and have online assignments and also interviews with both students and admissions counselors. The deadlines for application are the 1st of May for non-EU countries, and within Europe, it's the 1st of June. Well, I hope we've given you an impression of what it takes to apply to our program and that you might consider whether Atlas is the program for you.
Our final scripts and teleprompter, so we can just improvise for the thank you. Okay. Well, thank you, Jennifer, and also still thank you, Sarah and Gloria. This was it for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah. We'll keep the chat open for at least another hour. But if you have questions, we'll be there to answer your to still answer. You can always check our Facebook and our website. On the website, you find all the information you need about the program, the course, the admissions, deadlines, anything. And on our Facebook, we regularly post nice articles about real-life experiences from students, teachers, and events we have with Atlas and the University College.
So keep in touch. Let us hear from you. And who knows, maybe we'll be welcoming you here within the University College soon.
Thank you.